Hi, how you doing? I hope you're great. Welcome to another episode of Explain It to Me PDAC. My name is Miss Erica and I am one of the tutors at Purpose Driven Advocacy Center, and we are going to learn about another math function. It's called word problems. It's our favorites. Just kidding. It's not. Word problems are not necessarily popular with everybody, but they're necessary. And so we're going to go through it. I am taking some problems from a packet from one of the schools of one of our fourth graders. So this is actually coming from the school. And so it is structured how students are going to see it, not only in school for their homework, for their lessons, but also the standardized testing. So we're going to do a couple different problems. So I hope you're ready. I'm ready. Let's get started. Okay. First thing you need to know is that word problems are just what they are. Sometimes they try to trick you on purpose. And so it's good to have a method that you can always go through when you do word problems so that you don't get tricked and you don't get lost. And don't be nervous about it. They are what they are. They're not going to go away for right now. Even if you're in like calculus, they show up. So how I teach my students is that there's three things that you need to do. First, you need to read the problem. Just read the whole problem. Don't skip through it. Don't try to figure nothing out. Read through the whole problem. That's step one. Step two is to fill out these three sections. What are the facts? What is the goal, or what are they asking you to do? And then what is the math function? Fill that out. And then the third step is to solve the problem. So read through the problem, find the facts, the goal, the math function, and then solve the problem. If you look at it like that, it's easy, and that is a simplistic enough way to solve almost any math problem. So we're going to do a couple of them. All right, so the first word problem they gave us is, and then this is Common Core Standard CC.4.NBT.5. Here is the word problem. For the school play, 40 rows of chairs are set up. There are 22 chairs in each row. How many chairs are there in all? All right, so we just completed the first step. We read through the problem. Second step is find these three things. So what are the facts? Okay, the facts are that there are 40 rows of chairs. Another fact is that there's 22 chairs. Because you can't argue with that. That's a fact. It is what it is. There's 22 chairs. There's 40 rows. Those are the facts. That's all the facts they give us. That's all the facts they give us in here. So these are our two facts. What is the goal? What are they asking us to do? So that's usually the question at the end of the word problem. So the question they are asking us is how many chairs are there in all? So we can say total number of chairs. And then, what is the math function? This is now figuring out what you need to do to figure the problem out. So, normally, well, sometimes, I'm not going to say normally, sometimes depending on what math function your student is doing, that can tell you. Math function meaning like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So, in the unit that they're on, they're working on multiplication. It's probably going to be multiplication. It might be addition, because addition is the cousin of multiplication. It's the opposite of it. Cousin, whatever you want to say it. Just like subtraction is the opposite or the cousin of division. So sometimes they try to throw the cousins or the relatives in there. But if the unit's about multiplication, you can almost guess that it's multiplication. And so we are in the multiplication unit. However, we know that we have 40 rows and 22 chairs. And the easy way to figure that out is with multiplication. So the function is x, which we know stands for multiplication. In this case, it stands for multiplication, this type of math. All right, so we know our facts, we know our goal, we know our math function. So that's step two. So step three is now we have to solve the problem. So since we know that we're doing multiplication and we know that these are the facts, we need to figure this out. So then our problem becomes 40 times 22. Now, you're looking at this problem. If you were taught the old school way, you would just do 2 times 0, 2 times 4, hold the space, 2 times 0, 2 times 4, add those numbers, and then you get the answer. You absolutely could do it that way. However, the way I'm going to show it on the board is the halving doubling method, which is a newer method that a lot of parents and guardians and loved ones don't know how to teach because that's not what was taught when they were in school. So that's the way that I'm going to show it up here. But for word problems, normally, especially right here, the packet that we have, it's just multiple choice. And so if your student or you knows this, the old school way, and I'm just saying it that way, not to offend anybody, but to make it clear which method I'm talking about. If you know the old school way, you're more than welcome to do that, but I'm going to show the halving and doubling method. So the halving doubling method is you usually take the smallest number or whichever number or the smallest of the even numbers and divide it by 2. So in this case, we have 40 and 22, so the smaller number is 22. So we're going to do 22 divided by 2, and that equals 11. And then what you're going to do, you're going to take the bigger number in that problem and multiply it by this one. So we're going to have essentially 40 times 11. Then you're going to solve it. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 4 is 4. Then you hold this place because now we're moving to the tens column down here. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 4 is 4. My apologies. I'm all the way at the bottom of my board, but I'm just going to draw an arrow up here so that you can follow where I'm at. So then we're going to add these. 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 0 is 4. And then 4 plus 0, of course, is 4. So then that is this answer, but you're not done. Because since we divided 22, and that's not the original problem, we need to go back and multiply this number. The halving doubling method is supposed to make it easier for students to do problems like this where it's double. So instead of taking 22 times 40, most students learn their 11 times tables, and so since that's more recognizable, it's supposed to be easier, and so that's where this is coming from. But since we divided the 22 to get 11, we now have to double this because we need it back to 22. So times 22. So or times 2, sorry, to get 22. So 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 4 is 8. So our answer is 880. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the old school way. I just want to do the half doubling method so we can check our answers, because I know that that can be a little bit confusing. So here we go. This is what we call the old school method of doing double multiplication. We're going to take 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 4 is 8. Then we're going to hold that space because now we're moving to the tens column over here. This 2 times 0 is 0. This 2 times 4 is 8. Then we add these together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 8 is 8. 0 plus 8 is 8. So we got the same answer. So that's how you figure that out. Okay? All right. Let's do another problem. So again, once you get like how to view and attempt a word problem, it becomes easier. You may not have to write out all these every single time. You may be able to do it in your head, but if you start getting in this mode, it will help you. So let's do another one. Okay, let's do this one. At West School, there are 20 classrooms. Each classroom has 20 students. How many students are at West School? Okay, so we just did step number 1. Step number 1 is to read through the whole problem. Don't stop, just read through the whole problem. Step 2 is fill out these 3 sections. So what are the facts? We know that there are 20 classrooms. I'm just going to write rooms. And then we know that that each classroom has 20 students. So each room equals 20 students. All right. The goal is how many students are at West School. So total number of students. And so again, like I said, for the previous problem, we're in a multiplication unit, so I know we're doing multiplication. However, if you have 20 rooms and there's 20 kids in each room, the quickest way to figure out how many kids you have in total is to multiply. You could add, but that would take forever. You could draw like 20 boxes to like this to signify the rooms. Pretend I drew 20, and then you could do like 20 dots. Pretend that's 20, and you can do it on every single one and then add all the dots. That is a way to do it if you want to attempt doing this with addition. However, multiplication is just a faster addition. So that's why it's multiplication. 20 times 20 is what we need to do. All right, shortcut way. We know that when you multiply by a 0, you can hide the zeros, multiply the numbers that are not zeros, and then add the number zeros to that number. So we have 20 and 20. So we're going to hide these zeros. Hopefully you can see that. Yes, hide these zeros. So then we have 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Right? And then we uncovered the zeros and we have 2 zeros. So we're just going to put 2 zeros down here. 20 times 20 is 400. We have 400 kids. To prove that, let's just do it again over here. I guess I could have just erased it 400, but it's okay. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. Okay, hold the space. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 2 is 4. Zeros plus 400 is 400. So same thing. So this is a shortcut. This works really well when you have numbers that have zeros. However, with the fact that the half doubling method is what we are focusing on in this multiplication unit, that's what we're going to do. So let's have actually the both 20s. So we're just going to take this bottom 20. So 20 divided by 2 equals 10. So then we do 20 times 10. And here I am going to use the shortcut. So y'all forgive me. But we're going to cover up the zeros. 2 times 1 is 2. Then add the zeros. That's 200. 20 times 10 is 200. So we divide it by 2. We got to multiply by 2 because now we're doubling. So we halved it and now we're doubling. 200 times 2. I'm going to do the shortcut again. I'm going to cover the zeros. 2 times 2 is 4. Add the zeros. We got 400. We got to the same answer. So again, if your student's teacher is not asking to see their work, and sometimes they are, but if they are not asking to see their work and you're getting a problem like this, feel free to do the shortcuts. It's quicker, but if they do need to show their work, make sure that they're showing their work. And so that's why we show them the half and doubling method. So that is it for right now. Thank you for joining us in this episode of Explain It to Me PDAC, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.